In Greco-Roman, no holds are allowed below the waist, and you can't use your legs to attack or defend against any action from your opponent. Bouts last for 5 minutes. The ultimate aim is to pin your opponent's shoulder to the mat. That's your shoulder blades. There's no count, just by doing that action, and you win the bout. At this level, it's very difficult to actually get that. These wrestlers are very well matched, and so a system of points has been devised which awards wrestlers for specific actions, throws, holds, and then it's the person with the most points at the end of the 5 minutes that wins the bout. So we got the 97 kilo final. Russia in red, in control, takes his opponent over, exposes opponent's shoulders to the mat, gets 2 points. That action, then you will either get 2 or 1 point, depending on how your opponent's shoulders are exposed to the mat, how much danger he's in. If his arms are extended behind him, blocking the dangerous hold, or the danger position, not necessarily a dangerous hold, then you would just get 1 point. But the Russian gets in the control position for a point, takes him across his back again for 2 points. 5-0 the score in favor of Goji Kogovashvili of Russia in the red. Decisions are made by the referee on the mat, and he's assisted by a judge who sits just off the mat. If there are any disagreements between the two, the referee and the judge, then there's a match chairman who sits the other side of the mat opposite the judge. There we get another 2 points. 6 points to 0 the score in this 97 kilo final. As I was saying, if there's a disagreement between the judge and the referee on the mat, then the match chairman has the casting decision. And sometimes you'll see that the referee awards certain points, and it's actually reflected differently on the scoreboard. But we'll try and keep up with that. So Russia very much in the ascendancy here. 6 points to 0 against Anatoly Fedorenko of Belarus in the blue. The Russian was European champion in 1996, had a disappointing Olympic Games, came in 13th, which is very disappointing for the Russian team. Has been world champion in the past, back in 1994 and 1993. World record champion at 90 kilos. Recent changes to the weight category means that he's now competing at 97. So we're into the final minute of this 97 kilo final. The Russian in red, in the lead, 6 points to 0. The crowd's whistling, acknowledging the fact that the Russian is really quite happy to stay on the defensive. The referee won't allow that, and there you see what we call the Russian being passive, and so his opponent is given the option to remain in the standing and continue, or to get in control on the mat and hopefully get some points on the scoreboard. But you can imagine at the end of the 5 minutes, or as we approach the end of the 5 minutes, fatigue really setting in. 5 seconds to go. And that's the end. Koji Kogoashvili of Russia, winner on points, 6 points to nil, becomes the new world champion at 97 kilos. Silver medal to Anatoly Fedorenko. And the bronze went to Andrzej Wronski of Poland. Great atmosphere here in the People's Hall in Wroclaw. As we move to the lightest weight category. After this replay, we see the Russian gets in control, gets behind his opponent, gets a point. So the lightest weight category, the 54 kilo category. 8.5 stone, approximately, for those who prefer pounds and ounces. And so you see on the scoreboard we have Armenia versus Turkey. Vahan Yuharian of Armenia in red, and he's up against Erkan Yildiz of Turkey in the blue. So this is the lightest weight category. 8 weight categories. Now it's been reduced this year from 10 weight categories down to 8. And so this is the final for the 54 kilo world title. Referee blows his whistle. The Turk, being passive, the option to go in the referee's position or the parterre position goes to red, and he elects to go on the ground, hopefully to get some points. Turk needs to defend well. Don't forget, you can't use your legs, so it's very difficult. A great deal of leverage required of the upper body. The Armenian taking his time to get it a control position in order to try and tries to lift his opponent. No. The Turk defends well. Loses his grip. Once he loses his grip, the referee brings him back to the standing and the center. Both these wrestlers are students. Yuharian in red, or Armenia, is just 19. And his opponent from Turkey, Erkan Yildiz, is 23. Yildiz in blue there. Now gets the control. Yildiz was 13th in the 1995 World Championships. That's the best result he's had, so he's improved remarkably over the last couple of years. His opponent has just left the junior ranks, taking his first step into the senior ranks. Yuharian in the red was 5th in the Junior World Championships back in '96. There's no action, no progress being made, so the referee brings them back to the standing, and the bout continues. As we said, Greco-Roman wrestling is one of the two styles competed by men in the Olympic Games. The other style is freestyle. In freestyle, you can use the entire body. Despite the ancient-sounding name, Greco-Roman wrestling is actually the most modern of the two styles. Its name reflecting the interest people had in antiquity, when Greco first emerged in France at the end of the 19th century. However, Greco-Roman, the style, was actually the first to be included in the modern Olympic Games. Freestyle was first introduced to the Olympic Games, the modern Olympic Games, some, I think, 1904. However, wrestling has a very long tradition. The moves you see here and the moves you would see in freestyle have not changed a great deal for some 5,000 years. They are still as effective today as they were then. We're approaching 30 seconds to go in this 54-kilo final, with no score on the scoreboard. This is very unusual for the lighter weight categories. Normally we'd see a lot of action. Both men being very cautious. What will happen is that we'll actually go into overtime if neither wrestler has actually scored 3 points at the end of the 5 minutes. That's one of the regulations. Here we are, the end of the regulation time, now into overtime. So it's now the first wrestler to score 3 points. Colleagues from Polish TV. Been a great deal of local interest in these championships. Poland particularly strong in both Greco-Roman and freestyle. You see the signal from the referee that red is being passive, and so blue gets the choice. Now we go in the parterre, the referee's position, with blue, Erkan Yildiz from Turkey in control. Can he extend his lead with 1 point on the scoreboard? Don't forget, it's the first to get 3 points on the scoreboard, or obviously to pin their opponent. Turkish coach shouting encouragement, I'm sure. It's difficult to actually appreciate sitting here, the amount of energy which is being used in this competition between these two guys. Both men very evenly matched. Great deal at stake, of course. Difference between gold and silver is a great difference, and so neither man wants to make any mistakes. Turkey now passive. So can the Armenian Vahan Juharian make any progress here and get a score on the scoreboard? He's got the waist lock on. He releases it. And so the referee stands them up, back to the centre. Less than 20 seconds remaining. We're in overtime in the 54 kilo final of these World Greco-Roman Wrestling Championships from Wroclaw in Poland. So we're now at the end of the overtime. Technically, we have now a officials decision. The three officials get together and make the decision. But it's usual that the person with the points on the scoreboard will actually be the winner. And yes, it's been announced. Referee goes back to the centre and proclaims the 54 kilo world champion, Erkan Yildiz of Turkey. Officials' decision. Silver to Vahan Juharian of Armenia, and bronze went to Germany, Alfred Temircian. We'll be back after the break with more coverage from these World Greco Championships. More finals to come. Stay tuned.
Fulda and Eurosport offer you the chance to win a trip for two to the Yukon Quest in Canada from the 6th to the 11th of February 1998. You can also win sets of tires and books on the event. To discover this unforgettable dog sled race, call now. And good luck.
Welcome back to the People's Hall here in Wroclaw in Poland for the 1997 World Greco-Roman Wrestling Championships. 63 kilo final about to get underway. In this we have Turkey against Russia. Seref Eroglu of Turkey versus Nikolai Monov of Russia.
Now the bouts in the 63 weight category. The first bout for the 5th and 6th place.
Plenty of local support for these championships. A lot of the teams have a great following from their respective countries. Particularly enthusiastic ones being Turkey and Iran. But there we have Nikolai Monov of Russia and his opponent from Turkey, Seref Eroglu. This match is identical to the European Championship final earlier this year, in that the Russian Monov took the gold. So Eroglu of Turkey in blue certainly got a score to settle here. So the 63 kilo final. Early stages of the match, both wrestlers testing each other, finding weaknesses. The crowd shouting that blue is passive. But the referee decides it was red. So the Turk, Eroglu, in control. Very strong on the ground. Picks his opponent up straight away. Takes him to the mat. Back to the mat. 3 points. Back up into the standing. Clash of heads. Picks his opponent up, straight down, back to the mat, back towards the mat as well. So Seref Eroglu taking the early lead. On occasions when there's injuries, suspected injuries perhaps, then each wrestler has a maximum of 2 minutes injury time in any one match. If they can't continue after that within that 2 minutes, then they forfeit the match. So Seref Eroglu of Turkey in the blue, in the lead, 3 points to nil against the European champion, Nikolai Monov of Russia. Three minutes gone. Eroglu happy to stand back somewhat. Not much movement in terms of making an attack. He has 3 points, so that's enough to take the title at the end of the 5 minutes. Referee blows the whistle. Warns the Russian for keeping his head down. And so he's put back down on the mat. Eroglu in control again. Can he repeat the move he did before? He's trying it. Back to the mat. Strength required to lift your opponent. No progress, so back to the standing. Just over a minute remaining. The Russian in red needing to take the initiative, get through the Turks' defense. Again, both wrestlers being warned for their heads. Surprisingly, despite the very nature of wrestling as a contact sport, there are very few serious injuries. Accidental clashes of heads and sprains and the like, but nothing too serious. So Nikolai Monov there, trailing by 3 points. So Seref Eroglu of Turkey in the blue, well on his way to settling the score and gaining the world title. Ten seconds on the clock remaining. Can Monov take advantage of this parterre position? Eroglu anticipating the whistle incorrectly. Both hands need to touch the shoulder blades, and then the whistle goes, and then the wrestling carries on. Difficult to take advantage here. And that's the end. The end of the match. 5 minutes gone. The winner on points, 3 points to nil. From Turkey, Seref Eroglu. And there he is. There'll be great celebrations across Turkey, wrestling being a national sport in Turkey. And so he'll certainly go back a national hero. Bronze medal went to Poland. Włodzimierz Zawadzki of Poland took the bronze medal at 63 kilos. And celebrations begin in the Turkish camp. And there you see confirmation of the placings. So, 3 finals gone. More finals will continue in a short while after this commercial break.
Which rider has already been crowned 1997 World Champion in the 500cc's? Play and win 5 video game stations plus 2 motorsport games each. Runners-up will receive a Eurosport t-shirt. Call now. Good luck.
The competition is sky high. 17 different sports under one canopy. The first ever World Air Games. Breathtaking action in the skies over Turkey. Aerobatics, ballooning, hang gliding, skydiving. Flying high with Eurosport. The World Air Games, today 16:30 CET, 15:30 UK, live on Eurosport. With Thompson and Reggiani.
Welcome back with me, Robin Tomlinson, here in Wroclaw in Poland for the 1997 World Greco-Roman Wrestling Championships. So we go to 76 kilo final. Hungary versus Finland. Hungary in red, Tamas Berzica. And he's against the Finn, Marko Ili Hanuksela. Great support for the Finn. Greco-Roman wrestling being particularly strong and has great support in the Scandinavian countries. Scandinavia tends to concentrate on its Greco-Roman teams. Have had great success at all levels. So, Ili Hanuksela of Finland goes down in the parterre position. The Hungarian takes control. "76 kilos. Hungarian hopping over between sides to try and get momentum to lift his opponent. He's only given a short while. The referee says he's making no progress, and so they're brought back to the standing. wrestlers evenly matched, obviously by weight, but by age as well. 22, the Hungarian, the Finn's 23. Both wrestlers started wrestling when they were 5 years old. Vili Hanuksila of Finland is in the Finnish Armed Forces. Combines the service with wrestling training, takes a great lift, great effort over, out of the area. Despite the great effort there, the referee awards 1 point. The crowd obviously think it's 3. They'll receive 3 points, please, from the crowd. The referee goes over. And a new innovation seen this year is instant replay. And so the 3 officials get together. Check the video replay. And here we see it. Does he lift and expose his opponent's back? He certainly gets his opponent off the ground, which is 1 point. Throws him over. Goes off the mat. And the 3 officials agree it was only 1 point. This year's World Championships, both freestyle and Greco-Roman, have seen the introduction of video playback, which aids the decision-making. Referee. Blue being passive. Marko Vili Hanuksila of Finland in the lead by a point. But can his opponent from Hungary take the initiative here? As they go in the parterre position. That continues. 1 minute remaining. This 76 kilo final. Hungarian needs to make an effort here. Yes. Takes his opponent across his back. So the scores are level now. As neither wrestler have scored 3 points. And the scores are level as we approach the end of the 5 minutes. It looks as if we're set to go into overtime. And there's the end of the regulation time, 5 minutes. So we automatically go into overtime with the scores 1 point apiece. So it's the first of 3 points. We'll take the gold medal. Hungarian now, judge has been passive. Dangerous to be put in the parterre position, given the Finns anticipated the whistle again. Ili Hanuksena, can he muster up the strength to lift the Hungarian? He's got the hold, he's got the waist lock. He lifts him up. Can he throw him over? Yes, he can. He takes him over. The referee signals a point. Indeed it is. He gets a point for that. 1 step nearer the 3 points he needs. It appears as the scoreboard flickers that the Hungarian was penalised for use of the legs, which stopped his opponent doing a correct throw. And so by default, the Finn gets the points, gets a point awarded. And here we see the replay. We may be able to see the legs. So, Marko Ili Hanuksela of Finland, the 76 kilo world champion. Bronze medal went to Cuba. Filiberto Ascoi. Confirmation there of the placings in the 76 kilo category. We've got the 58 kilo final coming up shortly. And of course, we anticipate the 130 kilos at the end of this program. So join us after this short break.
Jag ska hjälpa dig. Alltså det är till att ta jobbet med sig här. Ja. Hoppsa. Hörru du, vi skulle behöva en ny kille på vår dataavdelning. En slitvargare som inte är rädd för att jobba övertid, va? Måndag, tisdag är kontoret tomt. Men på onsdag kan du titta in på onsdag. Åh här kommer polisen.
Leta på rätt ställe.
Vad trevligt.
Platstorget på torsdag. I Svenska Dag.
Hi, I'm Mick Doohan. Watch all the Grand Prix on Eurosport live.
The best seat in the house. Eurosport.
Welcome back to the 43rd World Greco-Roman Wrestling Championships here in Poland. 58 kilo final. About to get underway. Russia versus Kazakhstan.
The president of Wroclaw Wrestling Federation, whose the biggest dream was to organize the World Wrestling Championships here in Wroclaw. His dream has come true. Unfortunately, he did not have the chance to say it.
The crowd waiting in anticipation of the start of the 58 kilo final. As the wrestlers take to the mat, the referee inspects to check that there's no perspiration on them, and the bout gets underway. Kazakhstan in red, Russia in blue. From Kazakhstan, Yuri Melnichenko, and he's against Rafik Simonyan from Russia. The Russian transferred over from the Armenian team. His best result with Armenia was a 4th place in the World Under-21 Championships back in 1995. And he's up against Yuri Melnichenko from Kazakhstan, who is the current Olympic champion, Asian champion. So, Yuri Melnichenko, Kazakhstan, looking to further his medal list. The Russian in control at the edge of the combat area. Melnichenko takes control, a reversal. Lapse of concentration from the Russian. Allow the so Melnichenko taking command early in this bout. In on the ground. Lifting his opponent, waist throw, yes, over. Back towards the mat, 3 points. Awarded a point for lifting his opponent clear of the mat. So as you can see, subtle differences that obviously the officials are very aware of, meaning that you can, in one throw which looks almost exactly the same, you get 1 point, and in another respect may get 4 points. Very fine line, and split-second decisions being made by the officials. So, Yuri Melnichenko, Olympic champion in red. Early lead, 6 points to 0. Melnichenko in red, quite happy to keep his opponent's attacks at bay. With a clear lead, 6 points to 0 in this 58-kilo final. The Russian coach shouting advice to Rafik. He needs to stay very strong on the mat here. They're going very close to the edge of the mat. No progress. So 10 seconds remaining in this 58-kilo final. The lead seems insurmountable for the young Russian. And it is. Kazakhstan takes the gold. Yuri Melnichenko of Kazakhstan adds a world title to his Olympic title, taking the gold medal at 58 kilos.
The winner is Kazakhstan. Le vainqueur est le champion du monde dans la catégorie.
Bronze medal went to Bulgaria, with a wrestler who previously was competing for Armenia. That was Armen Nazarian. So Bulgaria takes the bronze. Melnichenko takes an early lead in the bout. Takes not only the physical but also the psychological advantage and control the bout from the start to take the gold. There we see great strength, lifting grip round the waist, over. 3 points for the throw, 1 point for lifting him right off the ground. And it was enough to take the gold. So we have the next final, the 69 kilos final. In red from Russia, Alexander Tretriakov. And he's up against the Korean Sang-Pil Son. Both 24 years of age. Tretyakov in the red is the current European champion. Took bronze in the Olympic Games in Atlanta. Passivity The Russian penalized for not actively wrestling, and the Korean elects for him to go in the parterre, so he takes control on the mat. Can he take or make an advantage of this control position? He seems to be able to. Yes, he can. Straight across his back. 2 points. Lifts again. Great strength. 3 points. And a point for lifting clear of the mat. So the Korean very much in control here in this 69 kilo, and he takes it again. So early lead for Korea. Sang Pil-son. Early points advantage, 6 points to 0. The Russian really needing to pull out all the stops. Finalists have had 3 days of competition leading to these finals. A great deal of importance set not only because it's a World Championship, but also in preparation for the Olympic Games, the Millennium Games in Sydney. Competition for the limited number of places in the wrestling competition at the Olympic Games is fierce. And so coaches, team leaders using these events to assess their progress. And make necessary changes in order to qualify in the qualification tournaments set by the International Federation. So the Russian, Tretyakov, in control. Takes his opponent over, arms extended behind him, gets a point. Korean, a wry smile, senses victory. There's quite a long time to go yet. Anything can happen. And you can see the Korean holding off. The attempts to attack by the Russian being held off effectively by the Korean, who's in the lead, as you can see on the scoreboard. 6 points to 1. In the final seconds of the bout. smiles already. He runs over to the coach in the corner. A great victory for Korea. And there we have the 69 kilo world champion from Korea. Acknowledges his opponent's coach, shakes hands with the officials. And there we saw really in control against the Russian. Very worthy world champion.
The winner of gold medal in the 58 weight category.
And so the bronze medal went to Romania. Mehmet Ender.
Będziemy świadkami pierwszej dekoracji medalistów kategorii wagowej 58 kg.
And so with Korea taking the gold at 69 kilos, it's certainly a reflection of the preparations being made for the Olympic Games and the proposed qualification systems. And there we have confirmation of the placings. Korea, Russia, Romania, gold, silver, bronze. We'll be back after this short break with the last two finals. Stay tuned.
Motors. Every week on Eurosport, news updates, interviews, behind-the-scenes reports, a world where speed is everything. Motors, a full dose of thrills.
With Total.
And Excite Batteries.
Motors, Wednesday, 1800 CET, 1700 UK on Eurosport.
Welcome back to Poland.
The first bout for the fifth place with a pose. Ukrainian
85 kilo final. Getting set on the mat here at the People's Hall in Wroclaw.
Niebieskim reprezentant Turcji Hamza Yerlikaya. Pojedynek finałowy w kategorii wagowej 85 kg.
And as the announcer says, the 85 kilo final. We have Hamza Yerlikaya from Turkey, and he's up against Sergei Shafir of Russia. Russia in the red, Turkey in the blue. This is the third wrestler from Turkey to make the finals. A great indication of the strength of Turkey in the sport. So we have the Russian Sergei Shafir, in the red. Hamza Yörükaya, Turkey. Yörükaya, the Olympic champion. The Turk in blue, just 21 years of age, Olympic champion, as I said. Also European champion. Trains in Istanbul. Sphere of Russia in red. About to take control. Obviously he's stronger in the standing. Elects to remain standing against his opponent, Yörükaya of Turkey. Referee signalling there. Passivity by blue. Calls for a timeout. Yörükaya seems to be bleeding from the mouth. May have a cut lip, but needs to stem the bleeding if he's to continue. Referee satisfied, so the bout continues. 85 kilos. No score as yet. Both these wrestlers reflecting the fierce competition between Russia and Turkey. Looking at the medal table, it's these two that are going to battle for the first place in the team competition. Russia takes control, gets the point. The points start on the scoreboard. Can he continue and build the momentum? No, no progress, so back to the standing. Seems to have a cut gum. So the Russian in the lead against the Olympic champion. Russia already have a gold medal. The gold at 97 kilos. This is the weight category above that. And they make this their second. Timeout again. The referee not happy with the condition of Yurikaya's mouth. Now he seems to have a cut chin. Remember that each stoppage for medical attention, eating out of the 2 minutes a wrestler's allowed in injury time. That's the end of the 5 minutes. With only 1 point on the scoreboard, we go into overtime. First wrestler to 3 points gets the gold. These wrestlers really tiring now. Overtime really being the make or break. Passivity, warning again against the Turk. Obviously the Russian is certainly better in the standing because he elects to remain standing again. We're in overtime in the 85 kilo final of these World Greco-Roman Wrestling Championships. Russia in red there in the lead. Be a great upset for the Olympic champion in blue. The referee gives a point. Two 2-0 the score. That time it was a slip throw. The Turk went to take a throw and it didn't come off, and so the rules of wrestling allow you to take risks without the risk of being penalised if something doesn't come off. That was another occasion. Obviously, on that occasion, the judge and the match chairman decided it was a point, and so on a points decision, 3 points to 0, world champion Sergei Chishvia of Russia, the 85-kilo world champion. So Russia gold at 85 and 97. Next final is the 130 kilos, the heaviest weight, back after the break.
The world turns at around 1,000 miles an hour. Keep up with the world's daily newspaper.
Water Ski World Cup. For the first time ever, the world's legendary water ski events are put together. Only a true champion will be crowned. Put the best skiers in the best conditions, and the result is outstanding competition. The Water Ski World Cup, Wednesday at 2 CET, that's 1 UK time, on Eurosport.
With Café de Colombia. The competition is sky high. 17 different sports under one canopy. The first ever World Air Games. Breathtaking action in the skies over Turkey. Aerobatics, ballooning, hang gliding, skydiving. Flying high with Eurosport. The World Air Games, today 16:30 CET, 15:30 UK, live on Eurosport. With Thompson and Reggiani.
Welcome back to Wroclaw for the Greco-Roman World Championships. As we said before the break, 130 kilo final about to start. On the mat already, a Hungarian, Mihaly Diak, and he's up against an enigma in wrestling, a modern hero, 3 times Olympic champion, 9 times European champion, and 6 times world champion from Russia, Alexander Karelin. The odds are stacked against Hungary. Who is up against a competitor, an opponent who has never lost a bout in international competition since 1987. And the Russian takes control early on in fine style. Gets his opponent down on the mat, exposes his back, holding him towards his back. He holds his opponent towards his back for 5 seconds. He gets an extra point to the 2 points he gets for exposing his opponent's shoulders. It has been said that the Russian plays with his opponents. Bouts really go into overtime when Karelin is on the mat. So Alexander Karelin in red takes the early lead. Been wrestling since 1981. He's now a coach himself. They go off the mat. Karelin is just under 2 meters in height and 130 kilos. That's just under 20.5 stone, which is the maximum weight that wrestlers can weigh. The Hungarian falls to the mat. The Russian takes advantage of that, extending the lead 7 points to 0. In wrestling, if you go 10 points clear of your opponent, it's known as technical superiority, and the bout is stopped. So we're getting very close to that. Trademark throw, yes. The referee awards 5 points and an extra point for lifting clear of the mat. World champion for the 7th occasion, Alexander Karelin of Russia. In grand style, as usual, as expected. And the world outside of Russia must be thinking, where are we going to find somebody to compete against this guy? The final score was 11 points to 0. The referee being a bit overzealous in the points. But there's no doubt about it, Russia takes the gold in the heaviest 3 weight categories, taking them to the top of the medal table. Turkey 2nd, Kazakhstan 3rd, Korea 4th, the bronze medal at 130 kilos went to Cuba, Hector Millian. And here we see a master in action. And so that brings us to the conclusion of these 1997 World Championships. Oh, and we get a chance to see Karelin in action once again. Opponent right over, should get 3 points for that, and an extra point for lifting him clear of the floor. And that's a very good present, with Karelin celebrating not only yet another gold medal, but his 30th birthday in just 2 days' time. And so we get confirmation of the placings in the 130 kilos. Been a great championship, a lot of action in the preliminary rounds, great action in the finals. All credit to the Polish organisers. And so here on Eurosport, I hope you've enjoyed coverage here of the Greco World Championships. A wry smile from an undisputed champion. I've been Robin Tomlinson. Thank you very much for watching. Hope to see you again very, very soon. Thank you very much. Bye-bye.
One human race.
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 We are one human race.
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 One human race.